Hey, it's Joe Crump. I wanted to tell you about a brand new add-on to my auto marketing system that we just completed last week. I'm very excited about it, and it's the Absentee Owner Add-on. Now, I've been doing absentee owners for many, many years. When we started out, we did it with snail mail. We just sent out letters to everybody. The snail mail still works. I've still got techniques for doing that are awesome, where we're getting a really high percentage response rate from them. It's a great way to go after them. We then progressed into voice blasts, a few years ago as well, but we had to do it a way that's took a while to get it set up and get them sent out. It was cheaper than doing mail, but it still had some challenges by getting the database together and getting the phone numbers for all those people and then doing that blast. Well, now with the auto marketer, we've made it possible that you can go into the county that you want to go into, that you want to work in. You can scrape the absentee owners from that county, and then you can send a voice blast to all of the ones that we can find phone numbers for, and we can find the phone numbers very, very quickly using the system. I'm going to show you how it works here in just a second. Now, an absentee owners, for those of you who don't know, is we go into the county tax record, and in the tax record, there's the address of the property, and then there's the address where they want the taxes, the bill to be sent. If the place they want the bill to be sent is different than the property itself, then we know that the person who owns that property, the person on title, doesn't live in the house, which means that, or usually doesn't live in the house, which means that they're an absentee owner. And if they're absentee owners, that means that they've either used it as a rental property, or they've got some other reason that they haven't been able to sell it, or that they're holding on to it. Other than the fact that that they're like most people who live in their properties. So they're a great source, a great resource to go after, and a great group of people to ask if they consider selling their properties. So that's how we do it. We go and approach them and say, we're investors, we'd like to buy your properties. This is one of the best ways that I've ever found to buy under market value properties. One, there's nobody competing with you. Very few people call absentee owners or contact absentee owners. So the competition is almost zero. Now, if you go to for sale by owners like we do with Craigslist, and we still have great success with Craigslist, but there's a lot of people that are contacting them. So it's a different level of competition. Absentee owners, nobody's talking to them, and they may not even be thinking about selling their property until they get the note from you or the voice blast from you. So it's a great source to go after. And I've created a program that teaches how to use this system, and I'm going to be adding that to the add-on. So when you get into this system, you'll be able to see how to use these leads, how to make offers on them, how to use the zero down structure hierarchy, how to do zero down deals with them, and how to find properties that are dramatically under market value that you can either buy for cash or you can get as assignable cash deals that you can assign to someone else. Very simple process to do that. And like I said, we've been spending the last few years, because of the crash especially, going after properties like this that we've been able to get sometimes for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar, almost always 40, 50, 60% off. We wouldn't even have to take properties that were only 20% or 30% below market value. We were able to get 40, 50, 60, 70% below market value on a regular basis. And that's exciting when you can do that, because it means you can turn around and make a big chunk of money every time you turn around and sell those properties. If you've got cash to invest, it really makes a lot of sense. If you don't have cash to invest, that's okay too. We've been taking these properties and doing some of them with zero interest rate financing, which means that if you buy a little cheap property, for $40,000, you can, and you pay $350 a month for it. All you have to do is divide that 40,000 by the 350, and you'll have the thing paid off in before you know it. A lot of the ones that we've been doing even cheaper than that, where we buy $20,000 and $30,000 properties that we needed to fix up, and we do terms on them, and we'd make payments on them and pay over a 4-year period or a 6-year period, where we pay everything that we pay goes towards the principal and buys down the note, so you don't have to worry about these 30-year notes anymore. So there's a lot of really cool things that I'm going to teach in that little training program that's part of this system in the auto marketer. Now again, this is an add-on to the auto marketer. It's not the entire auto marketer, and you can't really use it unless you have the auto marketer. So it's an extra fee on top of the auto marketer cost. The auto marketer costs $199 a month. The absentee owner module to be added on to it is $40 a month. And then you're also going to be sending out voice blasts, which have a cost as well. I'm going to show you how that process works. But when you look at your cost per lead plus, versus the return on investment, and it's just phenomenal. I don't know of any other lead generating process that's better than this auto marketer. I've also never seen another system like this, and believe me, I've been looking. Does anybody else do anything close to what we're doing? And I don't know anybody that does. I cannot find anyone that does. And there's a lot of programs out there that claim to be lead generators, but they don't really bring in real leads. They just teach you how to mail stuff out. And very few of them are actually doing it online like this and bringing in deals like this, and then helping you, once you get those leads, helping you follow up with them and helping you go through that whole process, because we've got a follow-up system that works really well with these. And we keep adding new things to the auto marketer to make it even more effective. So let me show you real quick. If you're in the auto marketer, if you've got an account, you might want to go through this with me real quick. But if you don't, at the top here we've got a new thing called Lead Source. This wasn't here before, and the default is working with Craigslist and Backpage and eBay Classifieds and Kijiji. So you can go in and use the leads that are in on those sites and send out to them. But the other one is the absentee owner, and if you click on absentee owner, and you've got it set up for absentee owner, then you can pick the county. You pick the state that you want to be in, and then in that state you want to pick the county that you want to work in. Now, we don't have all the counties in here. What we're doing is putting them in as we have new users who want them. And all the users are going to have access to every county that's here. But if yours isn't in yet, and it's probably not, then we're going to have to build that in. Right now, to have a coder do that for me, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get it done, and it costs me about $200 to set it up for each county. I'm only charging you $40 for the add-on, so don't do this unless you're serious, I guess is my my request to you, because it costs me money to actually set it up, and I won't see any return on it for a while. But I'm doing it this way because I want to build the area, and I want to have more areas that we can search, and it's going to make it possible for me to help pay for these the new areas that we're going to put in, and we're going to put them in the order that we need them, because there's no reason to put in a bunch of areas that nobody's going to use. So enough of that. Let me show you exactly how this thing works. Now that I'm an absentee owner, it changes the way the filters look. Instead of, if you're in the other default section, the filters look like this. Let me get back there. The filters look like this, and so you can. These are all the search criteria that you can use in Craigslist and the other websites. But if I go to the absentee owner, it changes it over, and now I'll see this. Now, we don't do emails with absentee owners. That's why these are grayed out. And we do voice blast and voice blast. We don't do text blast with these right now. You can do them, but I'm finding that most of the phone numbers we're finding right now in the place that we're scraping them online, most of them are landlines, so the response rate for text blast campaigns are still a little bit low. So we're looking for another source of phone numbers. Right now, when we scrape the leads that are in, or the names that are in the county recorder, we're finding between 25 and 40% of the phone numbers for those people, and it's checking by both the name and by the address of where they live, where the tax bill is being sent. So let's pick Marion County that I've got right now. And by the way, not all of them are going to show up here. They're only going to show up over here in the filter, or in the category and location report of the ones that you picked, and I've only picked 2 of them out of that batch right now. So I'm going to look at Marion County. Let's just do a real cheap group, because doing cheap deals is really nice if you've got cash and you want to just flip them out. So actually, let's do really cheap. So 0 to 30,000. I'm just going to pull up everything from 0 to 30,000 that does not, well, first of all, why don't I pull up the phones already have been scraped, because once you pull them up, you have to scrape the phones. I'm going to pull up the ones that have already been scraped and just do a quick search. And then I'm going to narrow this down just a little bit to show you how that works. When you put this kind of criteria in, there's a lot of property, so it takes a while for it to pull it up. And if you do a smaller or more narrow search, it'll happen in a lot shorter period of time. Okay, so we've got a bunch of them that have pulled up, and I've got it set so that 500 show up on the page here. So if I scroll down here, there's going to be 500 of these. They all have phone numbers, and as you can see, there's 1,106 of them that we have phone numbers on already. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to find the ones that don't have phone numbers, because I want to send out a new batch. So I'm going to undo this. I'm going to hit phone numbers not yet scraped, and I'm going to put never sent a voice blast. I want to send only to people that I've never sent to before, and I think I'll get more specific on my zip code. Let's do 46229. And one of the ways to do this is just to go to a zip code map. And all you have to do is go to Google and type in zip code map and then the city that you want. This is at city-data.com. And I can find out, and I'm going to look in this 46219 area code. So let's go back to the site, 46219, and this also does wild numbers too. If I want to do everything at 462, I can put star on the last two, and it'll do a wild card. So it's going to be people that have never sent up the last two, between 0 and 30, don't have a phone number yet, and in that specific zip code. So let's see how many people we come up with in that area. All right, there's 12,486 of those in that one particular zip code. So as you might guess, there's a lot of numbers here. We've got about 400,000 in Indianapolis that we've scraped. So there's a lot of different, a lot of data to work with. So now I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to find the phone numbers of these, because as you see here, none of them have phone numbers. And what I'm going to find is that maybe a third of them have phone numbers. So first thing I do is select all, and it puts a check mark into all of these, all the way down the line. And let's make this easy to do. I'm just going to do 10 of them here. Maybe I'll do 30. I'll just do 30. So we're going to have 30 of them. Then I'm going to select them all. And then I'm going to ask it, when we scroll down the page, okay, that's not 30, that looks like. Sometimes when you click too fast, it plays havoc with it. So it's now 30. There's 30 of them on this page here. I'm going to hit select all. It's going to do that. And then I'm going to click on find phone number. And it's going to start going through each of these and looking for phone numbers, and it's going to tell you if it finds them. Okay, it found the first one. Didn't find the second one. Found the third one. It's working on this one. So as you can see, this doesn't happen real quickly, and I'm only doing 30 here, so it's going to take a while to go through this. If you're trying to do 500 of them, which is what I recommend that you do, because when you do 500 of them, you're going to have 150 or 200 to send out to. If you do it that way, then it's probably going to take 20 minutes for it to go through that whole process and search all of these. Now I'm going to pause it just for a second. I'm going to come back when it's done and show you what it came up with. Okay, just doing a real quick guess here. It looks like about 10 or 12 of them got phone numbers, and I'm going to then, they're still selected, so I'm going to put them in a voice blast queue, and that's going to change this queue thingy here from a red minus to a green plus. So I'm adding it to the voice blast queue, and it should queue up all these. Now, when I go to voice blast campaign, I should see 30 of them that are now in the queue. And you're going to want to do more than 30 at a time. You're going to want to do 100 or 150 or 200 at a time so that you'll have a decent amount to look at. And you can see them down here. And it put all 30 of them in the queue because I didn't redo it. But if we count them here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So out of that 30 that we searched, it found 12 phone numbers. So about 35% is pretty consistent to what we've been seeing in the past. So I can start the voice blast right away because I've already got the outbound messages already set up. And you can record your own outbound message by doing this. And it'll allow you to do that. I've already done my recording, and if you want what I've done, you can use that just by clicking on this help button file, and you can read the script and put it in there. And then the inbound message is just like a voicemail. It just says, hey, this is Joe. Leave a message after the beep. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. And that's all it says. And then you can run a quick test call, and it'll send it to your phone number, and you can listen to it. So you can also upload your own list of phone numbers if you've got a different list, or if you just want to put your own list in there. What I'll do is put my own phone number in almost every time I do a blast, just to make sure the blast went out and that I got that information. As soon as that's done, you can hit Start Voice Blast, and it'll start sending out the message that you've recorded to these people. And again, you can change the message that you recorded in this system here, but and it won't send out duplicates, and it'll only send it in the time zone that is not going to wake people up between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m., so you don't have to worry about it calling in the middle of the night. So you can queue it up in the middle of the night, and it'll start going out at 9 a.m. the next morning with your time zone, not mine. It bases it on the time zone of the area code. So if it's got some that are on the East Coast phone numbers and some that are on the West Coast, it'll hold the ones that are on the West Coast to send them later if that time hasn't arrived yet, if 9 a.m. has not arrived yet. Same within the evening. You can also look at your stats on this, which is pretty cool. And the system will actually show you what you've sent out and how much has gone out, and it'll give you, if you want to look at what's gone out over the last month, you can see what kind of response rate you've got, how much it cost you to do that. We've sent out a lot of stuff here for very little money. Got 119 leads for $78, so 66 cents a lead. Now, with that said, you kind of expect somewhere between $1 and $2 per lead to be average for you. We're optimizing things, and hopefully you'll be able to do the same and get some good responses too. But even if you only get, even if it costs you $2 a lead, you're still doing very well with this thing. So that's the stats. Now let me show you the leads that are coming in. The Voice Blast lead tab, and it'll pull up the ones that it'll pull up the people that are responding to these things. And we've just got a few of them on here. And the reason there's only a few here, because a lot of those voice blasts that we sent out were for the default method, not for the absentee owner. We just started doing the absentee owner, and we haven't sent out a lot yet for the absentee owner. Now you can go through and you can click each of these, and you can read the message that they sent, or you can listen to the recording.
This is Mike Wagner. I just returned this.
And you can go down here and see
Hi,
what
Ryan. This is Patsy Ware. You left a message on my...
So you'll get both positive and negative. Let's see if I can find some...
Ryan. This is Chris Bonebrace. You had left a message here about...
See if we can see a little bit of both.
Hi, Ryan. My name's Mark Staley.
Most of these are overwhelmingly positive, but you're going to get some negatives, so
Ryan, this is Robert Jones.
be ready for that as well. And one of the nice things about this, you're going to get an email with this response, with the message, with the recording in the email, and a link to the ad itself. So if you click on this little link here, this isn't the ad, this is the actual tax record. And if the guy owns more than one property, it would come up here and he would show several properties here, or several properties that are attached to this name. And you can scroll down here and you can see what the assessed value was, what the land value was. You can find out who the property is. That information is all here. And then you can pull those people up on Zillow or on Trulia or HomeGain. You can use those things, or if you have access to the MLS, you can go on the MLS and you can get the values of the properties there. And you can search and save and flag them and keep track of them that way. You're also, like I said, you're going to get emails for each one of these that will go right to your cell phone, and if you have a smartphone, and you can call those people immediately at the time those things come in. But you'll notice that a lot of them come in at the same time when you send these blasts out, and you'll get responses a couple days after. I think all these were sent out on the 10th, and then the 11th and 12th we got a couple more. So most of them came in. Oh, it looks like the 9th. Most of them came in on the 9th, got a few of them on the 10th, and then a couple more on the 11th and 12th. This is from one blast that we did. So you can get a lot of great leads doing this, and all you have to do is learn how to convert them. And if somebody says something that they're not happy with you and you want to put them on your blacklist, you can just copy them, and you can put them on the blacklist and add them to that. Anyway, that's the absentee owner system and the add-on that we were doing. And if you'd like to sign up for it, first you need to sign up for the Automarketer, and you just go to pushbuttonautomarketer.com right here and sign up for that program. It's $199 a month, and then just let us know that you want to sign up for the absentee owner thing. There's not even a place to pay for the absentee owner thing right now. You just need to tell us that you want to do it, and we'll set it up. There's no information on the site about it. It is that new. So if you're interested, go ahead and sign up for it. The other thing that I'm giving you in this is I'm going to put some training materials on how to deal with absentee owners, and also how to do the zero-down hierarchy and different types of offers that you can make. And then I did an interview with one of the partners that I have, where we were doing lots and lots of absentee owner type deals. It's actually 2 years old. I'm going to give you that as well, so you can listen to that interview and listen to us discuss that process as well. So I've got 2.5 hours of training that I'm going to give you in addition to the program to kind of help you get started and get you launched with this type of investing. It's a little bit different. Now, if you've never been an investor before, maybe this isn't the best way to launch unless you're just looking for cash deals. If you're looking only for cash deals, this is a good way to do it. But if you're looking to create cash flow and get business money coming in so you can support yourself, then the for rent method makes a lot more sense. And then you'd want to probably use the default method and use the Craigslist and Kijiji and eBay classifieds and Backpage for your lead source. So anyway, with that said, I wish you the best, and I'll talk to you next time.